So the key thing is we never want to give a child a false sense of security as who they are in Christ. And so we regularly present the gospel here. We see kids, whether it be at the elementary, middle school, or high school, give their lives to Christ. But what's really cool right now, it's almost palpable, is the fervor, the spiritual fervor amongst our young people.
Isn't that exciting?
They're going after it.
Yep.
And, just a little snippet of, we hadn't seen this before. We always do our dedication service the first night of school. Well, our students asked, hey, can we do a student-only worship service on Sunday night? And so we're not going to tell you no, right? And so you had over a third of your student body show up. And the kids, it was all student-led, student-driven. We had one faculty member, he goes, I opened up the door, then I stood in the corner. And it was just a sweet time of worship. And that's what they wanted to kick off our year with.
Love it.
And we didn't do that when we were kids, and I like to think we're decent kids, you know, and I loved my experience here, but I would tell you today, and this is nothing against the past, I think we are a much better place today than we were. And I think the key to that, first and foremost, the board has to hold me accountable, but then our teachers in the room, when they are interviewed, they're vetted pretty well. Because we want to make sure that they're adhering to the truth. But also, our students need to have somebody that they can emulate and watch. Is the God that you teach me about really who He is? And has He transformed your life? And can I see that? And I think we can say that with a resounding
something
yes.
AI can't replace.
That's right.
Yeah.
They cannot. And then there is a cost for truth.
Yeah.
And what price are we willing to pay for truth? And I think it's coming to America.
Yeah, and that's scary.
Yeah.
But
But I love it because somebody said, I don't know who said it, you can't kill a Christian, you can only change his address. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah. It's so we have something to look forward to.
Yep.
So.
Well,
whenever you're ready.
Welcome to the Pointe podcast. The Pointe is for outside listeners curious to know more about NorthPointe's mission to equip students to impact their world for Jesus Christ. We're so glad you joined us, so let's just get to the point.
Welcome back to the Pointe podcast. I'm Todd Schenck. I'll be your host today, but also have another Todd Tolsma, the head of schools, who are here with us. And we do have not only an alum, but a local celebrity, I would say. Todd? Miranda. With Maranda. We're really excited to have Maranda here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, I'd like to ask, too, Miranda's not your real name. Is that correct?
Are you going to make me start with that?
Well, is there someone that inspired you for the name Maranda, or how did that come about?
So I've been Maranda for 40 years.
Okay.
And when I got out of college, I got a job in radio. It was children's radio, and they're like, become a character. Because I was doing a morning show. And they're like, be Aunt Goldie, be Little Miss Muppet. And I was like, that's not who I am. And I had studied Shakespeare and thought that's what I was going to do. And in The Tempest, there's a mermaid named Miranda. Okay. And so I was like, I'll be Miranda in the morning. And I thought it was so great. And it worked perfectly. And you know what? It just has been with me since the beginning.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah.
And Todd, same question. Inspired you? Was it me?
Inspired
you for Todd?
It was pretty close to that. Yeah, I think my parents may have had a little to do with it.
Well, the other thing that we have here is that not only are they alumni, but they were here at this school about the same time.
Correct.
I may have been a year or two older.
Yeah, I think you graduated with my brother.
I did.
Yes.
But it was back in the 1980s. Is that correct? When you guys were in high school?
They were great.
I should have worn my shoulder pads and pushed my hair a little more. Yeah.
And of course, Back to the Future is now coming back into the theaters for 40 years. So on October 31st, I think it's back in the theaters. So let's take a little bit, go back in time a little bit, and your experience here at NorthPointe, at Baptist Academy.
Yes.
For both you and Todd, maybe some shared memories if you could. But what's something memorable about your time here at Baptist Academy?
Wow. I transferred in seventh grade, and a lot of other students had been together at Crestview for years. So I came in as the new kid. And
Crestview used to be our elementary school.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Now NorthPointe Christian Elementary. But go ahead. Right.
So really, my memories are this place really helped me find out who I was, what God had gifted me with, and just that it was a big world out there, and that it wasn't all about me. It was about figuring out how I fit in the kingdom. And I'm so grateful, so grateful.
Okay. Do you have any memories when you're here of Todd and maybe some of his exploits?
Wow, I don't even have great stories to tell. Actually, Todd and his brother, they were the good kids. You guys were always good kids. They always dressed nice. They always had their act together. And I found my place with the theater crowd.
Okay.
So we always enjoyed being a little different. We weren't the athletes, although I did play volleyball here and I won the Spirit Award.
Okay.
If that tells you anything about my athletic skills.
Yeah, and Todd told me a little bit about your spirit, so we'll get that from him here in a moment. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, but just overall great memories. Everything about Todd, his family, the whole deal, just really good.
All right, and Todd, some of your memories from back then.
Energy,
okay.
I think would describe
All right, yeah.
Lori. And, I look at it because I think you were student body president, were you not?
Senior year, yeah.
Senior year,
yep.
Okay. And, but she was a leader, and she was willing to put herself out there, and people followed.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of school spirit in this place. Our gymnasium is being redone, right? And getting new bleachers. And I looked back at the first games, and if you look in the seats, they're full. Mm-hmm. I mean, we packed this place out every Friday night. Every game, it would be packed out. And that doesn't happen anymore in the world of sports at any school, really, it seems like. But so there was a really sense of belonging, and people wanted to be here. We enjoyed each other. We had smaller classes. I think I had 66 kids in our graduating class. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't just those kids we knew. We knew everybody in the building, and everybody knew us.
And every teacher knew us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yes, exactly.
Some of the teachers maybe that had an influence in your life when you were here at Baptist Academy.
Number one, Vicki Moddert.
Okay.
So I came here, like I said, in 7th grade. And if you can imagine any 7th grader, when you are pulled from your public school and sent to a school that maybe others hadn't heard of, I was not thrilled to be here. Mm-hmm. And I can remember on my first day, I'm sitting in Miss Pratt's Bible class, because that was my homeroom. Yep. And I remember sitting there and having them call my name, and I said, here. And everybody turned around and they're like, is that a girl with a boy voice? Because I had this voice in 7th grade.
Okay.
And being the rebel that I was, I decided, fine, I will never talk in class ever.
Oh.
And so I made that my mode of operation. Okay. My brother was a big-time athlete at a public school, and he got to stay in public school because he was athletic. Mm-hmm. And so I kept all my friends in public school and tried to really, just not plug in. Mm-hmm. But in 10th grade, Vicki Moddert, she just saw something in me that I didn't see. And she really encouraged me to come out to the drama club. I went out, I found my own people, kids weirder than me. And I'm like, I love that you're all weird. And I found my people. And from that point on, I became excited about this place. And so I really do attribute Vicki Moddert for taking time to notice me, because I was trying to be invisible, and for being like, you got a little something right there. And she was my advocate and my ally all the way through senior year. I ended up going to the church where she was the worship minister, because I'm like, anywhere Vicki goes, I want to be. So I think, wow, what a gift. If every kid could have one teacher like that. Yeah. And there were a lot of them here. Right. Yep. She was just one. But if every kid could have that person who sees your potential that you don't even know you have. Wow.
Yeah. I say, Miss Pratt, I took over for her.
Oh,
so
are you going to make me do revelations in the timeline?
I will not do that. No. Okay.
But Miss Pratt, doctrine papers.
Yes.
I remember those. Yes. She left in quite a mark.
She was a legend. I hope you're a legend as well.
Yeah, and so I took over for her. She left in the fall, after the fall semester, and I started in the spring semester. And
nice.
It's been 30 years now that I've been here. It's
congratulations.
Quite a long time. Yep. Yeah. Todd, what about you? Teachers or things you remember?
I think you hit the nail on the head. There was a sense of belonging. You could find your place here. I played sports, loved it, but I think my favorite memory, I always watched the kids in drama, because the plays that Vicki Moddert put on were incredible.
Okay.
But our music program here was Denny Mustin.
Uh-huh.
And he convinced me to try out for chorale. And so I happened to make chorale my senior year. And it was one of their first tours I ever took. You know, now we go to Jamaica, we go Haiti or wherever we're going. We did a U.S. tour.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. I think the furthest way we made it to is Washington, D.C. But one of my favorite memories was not only that, Denny would just pull the good stuff out of you.
Yeah.
And but on that first tour, me and 3 other guys and we all played sports together, were in chorale. So there was a lot of crossover.
Right.
And we stayed in the home of 70-year-old newlyweds.
Oh, boy.
70-year-old
Okay,
newlyweds. And they kept us up till like 3 a.m. And they were just, that's one of my favorite memories. But yeah, I think one of the things too is just teachers poured into you. They cared about where you're at. Sandy Pratt was probably one of my foundational teachers that, really getting you ingrained and making the Bible real,
Right.
not just a text to read.
Well, good. And we talked about Denny on our last episode, and we had both Aaron Tinney was here, but also Lisa Spangler. And Lisa, talked about the influence that Denny had. Of course, Phyllis, and I just love those guys. Back to you, Miranda. When did you kind of discover I think you kind of touched on this, but your love for, storytelling, your love for communication, it kind of led you into what you're doing now?
Probably when I was 7. Okay. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, as a kid, I was this strange child that I would go in the cupboards on a snow day and I would pull out rice and peanut butter and cereal, get them all set up on my table, and I'd call everyone in the neighborhood and say, "Come over, it's time for The Price is Right." Okay. And guess who got to be Bob Barker? And I would have the hairbrush and everyone would guess the prices and win prizes. Isn't it funny? That's exactly what I do today.
Yeah.
So I think it was always there. Yeah. So I don't think it was a discovery.
All right. And Todd, do you have anything you'd like to ask Miranda? Is there a question that you had about kind of where she is right now?
Obviously you're in the public sector, right? In the media.
Yep.
And media has a great influence. And
too big of an influence.
Yeah, too big of an influence. So what do you see your role as a believer in a very secular society, right, that you operate in? How do you maintain your distinctiveness in that world?
Yeah.
I think I always try to encourage young people as well. Identify your brand, know what your brand is. And for me, my brand has always been, number one, a child of God. And number two, I didn't seek this out. It's not my dream. It's where God has me.
Yep.
And when my time is done, it's done. It's okay.
Yep.
But how do you maintain that? You've got to know who you are, because it is so noisy and so loud, and it is so easy to get caught up in, am I on the right platforms, sending the right messages, getting enough likes, influencing enough people? And that's when I've got to be like, whoa, not about me.
Right.
So it's a difficult world, but I also feel like God still has me here. I mean, for crying out loud, 40 years as a female on TV, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, God's hand is here. He's upon me, and whatever I'm supposed to be doing, I will be, and I have to remain faithful.
Yeah. I think you hit the key where our identity comes from, and it's being a child of God. People say, "Oh, you're the head of schools." I'm really Todd.
Yep.
That just happens to be my platform.
Yes.
That's not who I am. It's what I do, a part of what I do, but it doesn't define who I am. And our definition of identity comes from Christ.
And it's hard to admit that in today's world.
Even in ministry.
Oh, yeah.
And it's real easy, even in ministry, because I can justify being here 24/7. Then it becomes an idol.
Yeah.
And so that's trying to find those balances, because first and foremost, my relationship with Christ, then my wife, then my kids. Somewhere the job comes into play, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as far as your role as Miranda, have you been in any other kind of areas in the news? I mean, have you ever been like a news reporter? Have you ever been kind of at the head desk or anything like that?
I've been really fortunate with my career that I've been able to play it the way it's supposed to go, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I started...
So not a weather girl?
Not a weather girl. And usually you have to start that, right? You work your weekends, you're a reporter, you're doing the court cases, you're in Cadillac, Michigan, nothing against Cadillac, but you start in a small market, and you work your way up and all of that. And I just sort of have been fortunate to move to always be committed to kids and families, always been in the lifestyle area, not in the hard news.
Okay.
And And there is always that pull. People are like, don't you want to be an anchor? And I'm like, I have dyslexia. Do you know how painful it would be to sit in an anchor chair and sit and try to read teleprompter as my job? No, thank you. Yeah. Did I miss opportunities because of it? Absolutely. Did I miss money because of it? Sure. But you know what? I'm doing what I love, and it suits me.
Did you ever think of maybe a bigger market or have an offer of a bigger market? Well, that ever come down?
In our industry, the rule is 3 years and up. Okay. So if you are in a role of any sort in media and you are at the same place for 3 years or more, you're dead.
Okay. Well, you're not dead.
So I've changed stations. I think I've hit everyone in the market. Okay. So I started out at ZZM, went to Fox, and now I'm at Wood. But I've always been very blessed to be able to stay true to kids and families. That's my core demo. I'll do other things. I do weird like auto show. It's like, why is she doing the auto show? But I always try to find that angle for what's the best vehicle for moms. Yeah. Or if I've got 5 kids, what's kids going to get into in this thing? So I try to bring it back to who I am.
Okay. Is there like an interview that you had that's really memorable? You say like, that's why I do what I do.
You know what? I do all kinds of interviews, and it doesn't, you would think it'd be the big ones, right? It's like, oh my goodness, you interviewed Michael Jordan. I've done Shaquille O'Neal. We've done.
You actually interviewed me one time. I don't know if you remember, but that would have been a big one on the list, I'm sure.
You were in 3rd grade. You're killing me. No, but actually, my favorites are the ones where, yesterday I'm out at Home Repair Services and I'm with a 4th grader who's a Girl Scout, and she's part of the She Builds program, and she showed me how to build a birdhouse.
Okay.
And her mom took 1 million pictures, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be a memory for this kid. And they're going to put that probably on her little senior board when she graduates. And be like, remember that time you did that? It's that I have the opportunity to be a part of people's journey is really cool. Yeah. And that's my favorite.
Right. And here at NorthPointe, we have our mission statement is to impact our world for Jesus Christ. And that's a way of you doing that out there in this world. Todd, as far as what Miranda's doing out there in the secular sector, right? And having to be an influence and things. We're trying to train our kids here at this school to say no matter what you go into, right, it's that ministry. Vocation is a called vocation, absolutely. A called ministry. Yep. Let's say a little bit about that, kind of how we're shaping that.
I think, the battle of mind and the heart, and to not just have Bible be academic,
right?
But that our God is a transformational God, and so my favorite thing about here is when kids come in and when they leave, not because they're leaving, but I like to see where they started and where they exiting, and I'd love to tell you everybody is right where we want them, right? And they're not. But the key thing is God is still at work. Some of our kids that were some of our biggest challenges are some of the people who are influencing and impacting the world for Christ now than maybe the kids that were here doing all the right things, right?
Right.
And so I think the key thing is to keep equipping them, that understanding every child is made in the image of God. And it's not just they're all the same. They're uniquely made.
Can I say something about that too? The opportunities, and not that, that it was limited necessarily back when we were in high school, the 1980s, here at Baptist Academy. But now where we are, just so many other things that we're able to offer here at NorthPointe Christian. We've got the school within a school, the Big Picture program that we have, and just so many other areas in which we can take the kids who have their own bent and kind of shape them to have them go out.
I think this is, education used to be everybody has to learn the same way. Yeah. And if we really believe that they're uniquely made in the image of God, then why are we educating them all the same way? So we have to find ways to reach them and give kids a voice in this process. And so when they own it, they take it and run with it. And that's what BPL does. They can go faster, further, deeper, wider in their curriculum if they so desire. And that BPL is not for every kid, but the traditional one's not for every child. We got Spanish immersion.
Yep. You've got, what we do with our unified, I think unified sports, but what we do with our
student
union.
Yeah.
And
I think that's one thing that is most impressive to me from where we were to where we're at today is what does the body of Christ look like?
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody doesn't look like me. Middle age, white, decent income, Okay.
Good looking.
There you go. Yeah, you can keep your job. And but everybody comes with different things.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite students here, as you guys all know, it was Will Gordon.
Yeah.
He was our
I
first
love
Down
Will.
syndrome graduate. And he and I would have business meetings every day in my office. And I loved and cherished those times. But then he spoke at graduation. And you talk about watching people, he was better for us than we were for him.
Yeah.
I love that.
And he makes us better. Today, we have students with all different diagnoses. We have students who are confined to wheelchairs. And what you see is the body of Christ serving them. And best part of athletics here is unified sports.
Yeah.
I wish regular sports could learn a lot from them.
Yeah. And maybe kind of a good transition here to kind of what I want to talk about next. I don't know how long it's been since you have been back here to see the school, but I would imagine when you came in, you were surprised at how big and how many things have changed. Nate Morrison, you did a podcast, or not a podcast, you did an MPCNN with Nathan, and he's part of the Unified Sports Program that we coach that too. I do want to, and I don't want to push you out of the way here, Todd, but I do want to kind of transition just a little bit, and I want to bring in
The better-looking guy,
the
right?
better-looking guy. Well, he is the Big B Teacher of the Year, so let's get him over here.
All right.
Let's,
Good to see you,
John
Todd.
Denouter. Good to see you, Todd. Thanks. But I want to talk about a little bit about you coming back and speaking to our video production or video introduction class and John, and just kind of get your thoughts on, what you were able to do, talk about the kids and things like that. And I know John's got a few questions too he'd like to ask you. So anyway, your impressions when you came back here to NorthPointe Christian after.
So impressed. And obviously the space is different. It's bigger. I feel like there's good energy here. You walk in, you're like, oh, there's good things happening here. More importantly, there's good quality humans here. And that made my heart very happy. I didn't get the sense of there's a few kids who are seeking Jesus, seeking being Christ followers, and the rest of them are here because this was the last stop or a place they were put. Instead, this was a chosen spot. And to me, that was pretty exciting. And I could sense it. And then we went into John's room, and man, every one of those kids, even though they all look different, they had a different thing, they're wearing different kinds of clothes, they just got different. I didn't see any dress code, by the way. But anyways, but I looked around, and I mean, every one of them were bright-eyed, ready to help, raising their hands, talking to me, engaging with me. And I'm like, okay, if this is a picture of what future corporate America could look like, we've got a beautiful world ahead of us, because these kids were ready. They were engaged, and I loved that.
Yeah. John, is there something or questions you might have for Miranda?
Yes, Miranda, you made my day when you came in. I think you made my year, honestly.
You made me cry. How about that?
So thank you so much. I just want to thank you for support.
By the way, he tried to cash that check. It just, they wouldn't take it.
They wouldn't take it. It's too big. That check was minimal compared to what I know you put in every day to the kids. And it's one thing when people write us nominations for our Big B Teacher of the Month, and they're like, oh, he's a great teacher. We love him because he's always gives our kids candy on the way out of the room, or a high five, or whatever. Yours came in with everybody saying, that guy's the real deal. And then when I got to meet you, and you truly are the real deal, and you are so humble, and you called your work ministry, I was like, ah. And the best part about it is we were doing a live shot. So I had an earpiece in, and I'm talking to our control room. And when you were kind of like taken back by it, our whole control room, directors, producers, engineers, they're all like, whoa. Because people do not have the courage to show real emotion anymore. And you were genuinely humbled. And then your kids talking about you. It was so beautiful. And when I got back to the station, my executive producer was like, that was a great live shot. And I thought they were going to be upset because we talked about Jesus every other word. And I thought I was going to get in trouble. And instead they were like, those kids were awesome. Did you handpick those kids? Where'd you get that teacher? Blah, blah. And I'm like, that's NorthPointe, period. And I was like, wow, that was a great opportunity. And I think sometimes we think we have to pound on these loud drums and make a big noise about our faith and who we are. You shined a bright light on Christianity in your gentle, humble spirit, that if I were a parent at home watching, I'd be like, I don't know what that guy believes, but I like it, and I want my kids to like it too. And that's the message the world needs is we're peacemakers. We love others and we love them in a humble way where everyone is included and valued. And those kids feel it from you. And that was beautiful.
That's high praise.
Yeah, thank you
Seriously.
so much. Thank you so much. But the thing I wanted to ask you is something you told the students just briefly before we went on air.
Who knows what I said?
You said something
Don't
about...
hold me to it.
No, it was good. You said something about how if you have a good heart and you're a moral person, you can go anywhere in this business.
Amen.
But I wanted to ask you more about that. Because I think my students, when I think about like their sense of calling, vocation, they haven't developed that much yet. I think their thoughts are, what am I going to have to do to get to my career?
I'm talking about right here, right now.
Right.
Okay? So if you are on a sports team and you're playing an opponent and you get cheated out of a call, what are you showing me as I'm sitting in the bleachers? Are you showing me anything different than I'd see anywhere else? Because if you're not, I don't believe a thing you've said.
Yep.
But if you are truly, so this idea of I'm seeking my vocation, I'm seeking my place in the kingdom, you're already living it. And all we have is this one day.
That's true.
So if you are not embracing the moment and living to your potential that God has given you and taking advantage of every opportunity to be true to your faith, then you've missed it.
I like what you said there.
Yeah.
Be true to your faith, not be true to yourself.
Oh.
Because we live in a world today where it's this, you to be true to yourself.
And we're a mess.
we
So
are.
try to get away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I have a student actually, Henry. He told me
I loved Henry.
Yeah, he's awesome. He wants to be in this field, in your field.
Good.
He-
Send him
and-
my way. He can intern.
I'll tell him. But what can I tell him and all the students in my class about how do you build a career in this? I mean, it sounds like God led you one step at a time and you followed, and God opened up amazing doors for you. But I mean, how do you get started? I mean, what can I tell him?
Honestly, I think
Price is right.
Yes, seriously. But I think for whatever you're going into, I just met with a former intern of mine earlier today, and this kid has it. She has the it. She can do it. She just doesn't believe in herself. So I'm watching her spinning and spinning. She's 2 years out of college and she's trying all these different things except the things she should be doing. So I think for our high school students, if you've got kids who think they want to do this, I want to make sure they want it for the right reason, because you get into this field, terrible pay, terrible hours, and truly will test you in every category. So you better want it. But if you really want it, then you're already telling stories. So people wait for the big moment. And if I go on your social media platform, if you're coming in as an intern to intern with us at Wood TV, and I handle our interns there, if I look at your social media platform and you haven't told a single story, don't tell me you're a storyteller. The opportunities you're giving your students with your broadcast opportunity by taking your class, I would expect that they could take that now and go out there and spin it. Maybe you're not on TikTok, you don't have to be, but show me a nice little Instagram reel at least once a week. You've got to be in it. You've got to be engaged, and you can't keep information to yourself.
That's great advice. Yeah, because and hopefully I'll have many more. But Henry is the one who told me that he really wants to do this.
This is so funny. And you know what I love about Henry? I mean, because this is what Vicki Moddert did for me, and I see this as part of my calling. I always look for the kid who isn't sure how they fit. And they're just sort of there. And I could see Henry is a leader. Like, Henry knows who he is. But at the same time, Henry wasn't sure what he was supposed to do in relationship to what was happening.
Right.
So I'm like, come here. You're going to distract your teacher. You're going to do this. I'm going to sneak in with a camera. And like, he's all engaged.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I just think letting kids know they got it. They got it. I believe in you. You've got this thing.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to screw it up. And if you do, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really firmly believe you learn as much from your failures as you do from your successes. You know, you have to fail. There's no way around it.
Yep. And we all do.
Well, I tell you, I think we're about ready to kind of wrap things up here.
I can go all day.
I know that. I know, but just kind of maybe one word that would sum up your journey.
Oh, blessed.
You think blessed.
And I know that's overused,
Yep.
but it's genuine. This isn't like me making it happen. I'm fortunate. And we all can say that.
Yeah.
If you are doing what you love and you are at peace in your personal and your professional life, you are blessed.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And I want to thank you for being here, Maranda. Thank you, Todd, for being here, and also for John And just wrapping things up, it's just inspiring to see how kind of the seeds that were planted in Baptist Academy have kind of grown to bear fruit here at NorthPointe Christian and continues to do that. So I just want to again thank you guys for being here, and truly I think we are blessed what God has given us and the role and responsibility out there in the world to impact the world for His Son Jesus Christ. So
Thank you for having me.
yeah, with that said, I think you got the point.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Point. I'm your producer, Alex Sigma. And if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to rate us on Spotify and share this podcast with others. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Spotify. We'll see you on the next episode.
So when was it that Dave Anderson came up with that cheer? Do you remember?
Which cheer was that?
Oh, VICTORY?
Yeah.
Yes, that is our battle cry.
Yes.
Did he do it back when you guys were in high school?
I'm sure he did. I was going to say Mr. Anderson, but of course I've got to go Vicky Motter.
It's that.
Yeah.
Well, we called him Mellow Yellow
Yeah,
It's-
totally.
because he
had
would
those-
have games with the staff. And
Yeah.
he'd come out, our uniforms were bright yellow.
Yeah.
And he had
Well,
bright
he had those yellow
sneakers.
Converse.
yellow.
Yes, the
He'd wear
Converse.
those, yeah.
Yep.
And then he'd have the tie with the MPC on it, and he would lead us in the cheer. And,
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
yeah.